guys, welcome back to my channel. No.
So today we're going to do a crypto Q&A.
Yes, Q&A, answering your questions that you might have about crypto, might have been scared to ask, or just weren't scared and just wanted to ask them.
Like my mum, apparently.
I love that. And that's the first question, isn't it? What is the best crypto to buy?
Just the most ballsy question.
I know. Doesn't she know that we don't disperse financial advice? No.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good way to start the question, is that like we don't give out financial advice. But I think the best answer to that question is to do your own research. There's like 1,000,001 coins out there.
Okay, Bitcoin has been around the longest.
Yes.
And Bitcoin has never been hacked.
Yeah.
It's unlikely it's going to be hacked in the near future.
Yeah. There is this thing that exists which people use to analyze how good a coin is, I suppose, or like look for the features that they're after when they're investing, and it's called the Bitcoin trilemma. Not the Illuminati. And for context, anyone who's listening, I'm holding up the Illuminati sign right now. But anyway, so it's the Bitcoin trilemma, and it basically is a graph where there are 3 different components on each corner. There's scalability, security, and decentralization are the 3 points. Most major cryptos have been placed somewhere at some point on this triangle, which basically gives them a rating as to how well they meet each of these 3, I suppose, requirements or desirable features. Yeah. So I think to answer that question is do your own research, understand what it is you want out of investing in cryptocurrency and what your risk profile is. If you're someone who's very risk averse, it might not even be the right asset class for you, or you might want to decide to invest very small amounts. But as I say, it's something that you should do a lot of research about and consult with a financial advisor if that is something that you want to dabble into.
I would say that there are a lot of what they call shit coins.
Yes.
And you might win some, like you might make some money in it, but you're just as likely to lose money in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're willing to gamble, go for it. Like, okay, I don't want to. I feel like, you know, in the Pink Panther, and like they've got like all those like red laser beams.
Yeah.
I feel like when I'm talking, I'm like trying to go through these red laser beams.
We're ninjaing right now.
All right.
Samurais.
People gamble. They gamble at Las Vegas. If you want to gamble on crypto, then it's not my place to be like, you can't do that. Don't gamble like my inheritance, please.
Your inheritance. Oh, funny. Yeah.
I think if you want to play around, Mum, just whatever.
Mum. It's so hard to answer that question without being like so direct. I mean, I suppose like, can we disclose what we hold? I hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano. Mm-hmm. My biggest stake at the moment is in Ethereum. Mm-hmm. And I'm at this point in this year, I'm going to start slowly increasing my, I suppose, my concentration of Bitcoin that I have. I kind of want to have a Bitcoin dominant wallet personally. Also, and something else that I do when I'm investing, or I'm going to try and incorporate more when I'm investing in crypto, is dollar cost averaging, because it's sometimes not even a question about which crypto to buy, it's how to buy it as well, because it's such a volatile asset. And dollar cost averaging can take down your exposure to the volatility over time, because if you invest the same amount each week, the price that you're buying your asset at will kind of level out a little bit, the average.
Yeah.
So
it's a really great strategy, and I think I'm going to do the same. So I own Ethereum. I got gifted some Doge for my birthday.
I love that.
A few years ago.
Mm-hmm. I remember that very well. I remember talking about it in Seoul.
I think I bought some ADA, from the Cardano blockchain.
Nice.
Around the same time you did. I bought it on a hot wallet too. So it's my first kind of hot wallet experience.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I think we've probably beaten that question like a dead horse. So we might as well move on.
Okay. When do you think crypto will bounce back?
Another very ballsy question.
To be clear, like crypto is a big industry now, and I think there's a lot that won't bounce back. I think there's a lot that's just like dying or already dead and will just stay dead.
Yeah, totally. I agree. And
Bitcoin and Ethereum and like the major ones, some of the major ones have potential to bounce back.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah, absolutely. I think as when, I don't think it'll be for another few years, to be honest. I think like, yeah, as you say, these big collapses like FTX and 3AC and Celsius, like they'll continue to happen. Probably the scale of FTX is pretty huge, and that's bound to make some waves and to extend the bear market another few years at least, because a lot of businesses in crypto are very intertwined and like their risk is not that diverse. I think, to answer your question, probably another few years.
I don't know. It could even like bounce back this year potentially.
Yeah.
And it just depends. It depends on so many factors, and I think macroeconomists are starting to study it more. And because Bitcoin has only been around for 10 years, and so with macroeconomics, which is kind of studying like the ups and downs of the economy, people can like kind of see trends. But it has to kind of be over a long enough period to detect a trend.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Because if it's only like 1 year, that you can't predict a seasonality trend. And so now we're just getting enough data to kind of like
start making educated guesses.
Yeah. And so I think my feeling is that, well, coming from a South American country, when you don't trust your government or like the banks or the big institutions, that is a big push for people to start using crypto and become their own banks. And with what's happening in Russia and Ukraine, there's a lot of sentiment in Europe that like people are going through an energy crisis and people are scared of recessions and things like that. And so who knows what kind of geopolitical thing is going to happen. But for sure, I think the political aspect of cryptocurrency is a big one. And if you have educated guesses and about like what's happening politically, you could probably also make some educated guesses about crypto.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise, like if you come from a country like New Zealand, there's not really that much reason to use crypto when you can just use stocks and normal banks, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose we're talking about it on like a huge scale, like when will crypto bounce back? But there are people making money still every day.
Yeah.
So it's like when you say when should I buy a house? When's the best time to buy a house? There's no good time to buy a house. There's always a market for a buyer and a seller. I think it's just finding the niche that you are like really good at making educated guesses about, and if that is like finding a coin that's really popular in Peru that people are using every day and you can make good speculative trades off that, then it's not necessarily a case of crypto bouncing back. It's like having that really niche knowledge of a very particular aspect of crypto.
I guess another important consideration for the investing is that a lot of institutional investors, and by institutional I mean like pension funds, are investing more into crypto. And the job of an institutional investor is to like please their customer, their client. And if their customer asks them, have you got any crypto? I've been hearing in the news like what's been happening. I don't want my assets anywhere near crypto. Then the institution has to respond and give them a pleasing answer. Otherwise the client will go to another fund who's not.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not necessarily talking about what inherently is the value of crypto. It's what is the perception of holding crypto.
Yeah, absolutely. So public perception is really important for the crypto industry, and institutional investors in America and other Western countries. Yeah, that's a really, really big important consideration that wasn't necessarily the case 5 years ago, but it definitely is now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think just wrapping up that question and kind of thinking back on both of our considerations is that there are so many ways to skin a cat. And I think that, talking about when crypto will bounce back at the end of the day is a different question depending on which crypto you're talking about and what time period you're talking about and what does bouncing back mean. Like that is a question with a million answers. So I think the best advice is find your niche, do your research, and be educated about institutions, politics, and what the intrinsic value of a coin is, and not intrinsic value, but the What are the things you're looking for when you're investing? I think we nailed that one, to be honest.
Yeah.
We could have said anything.
The next Warren Buffett.
Funny. All right, well, moving on to the next question. What is the difference between a hot and a cold wallet? Oh, I love this question.
You know, when you hold your phone, it gets a bit hot.
Yeah.
Or your laptop gets a bit hot because there's a machine inside it running.
Yes, I do know that feeling, Nikita. Tell me more.
A cold wallet is something that stays cold.
What are you on about, mate? You are. It's definitely like, I can see where you're going. What the fuck? Anyway, so basically, a hot wallet is something that you store on, a computer or a phone that stays connected to the internet.
Yeah.
So some examples might be like a wallet app. So we were talking about Exodus before. What's some other examples of hot wallets? I'm saying Exodus because I use it, but there are a million examples of hot wallets.
There's a million apps you can download. Literally go to the app store.
Yeah.
Search crypto wallet.
Yeah.
And those are all hot wallets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
So those are hot wallets. They can be stored like connected to the internet, and you can't take them offline really. But the difference that leads us to the difference between a hot wallet and a cold wallet. So a cold wallet is something that you can store offline, off the internet. So a good example of this is the brand Ledger, which is basically like, it comes in like a little USB and it's got your code like on the USB, and you can plug it into your computer, and when you plug it in, that's when all the information will like pop up about your crypto. And the important difference is that your crypto is not, it's more secure. It's seen as more secure because your crypto is not stored on a computer where it's more likely to be hacked.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's two main brands, Ledger and Trezor, for cold wallets.
Yeah.
And then if you are a little bit more of a nerd, you can like even create your own cold wallet if you have like a spare USB or like laptop. Mm-hmm. So, but you probably, if you knew how to do that, maybe you might not be listening to this.
We won't delve into that then. We'll leave that to the experts.
Yeah. But say you don't want to spend $100 on a Ledger.
Yeah.
That is an option.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point to make as well, is that cold wallets tend to be a little bit more expensive. So it's kind of for the investor that's probably investing a little bit more. I mean, like, if you're wanting security at any price, go hard. But if you're investing $100 into Ethereum, it's like buying a $100 Ledger is probably like not for you, maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like we've covered off that one pretty well. Should we move on?
Yeah. What is an ICO?
ICO. Let's go. Unnecessary.
Were you in the cheerleading team?
No, I've never been a cheerleader.
Really?
I think the closest I've come to cheerleading is like knowing all the chants from Bring It On.
I don't even know what Bring It On is.
Oh my god, you've not lived.
My parents didn't let me watch TV.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe that's why I'm an outcast.
I think you should invest some time into watching Bring It On. It will change your reality as it currently stands. But anyway, an ICO stands for Initial Coin Offering. And basically, it's just the genesis of a crypto company is that they issue an initial amount of coins, which people can buy up. It's different to an IPO because with crypto, you don't necessarily get a stake in the crypto company or whatever like you would with an IPO. So it's different to like a shares IPO. Yeah. Because in that case, you will get a little bit of the company if you buy into it. So I suppose it's like buying the latest phone, but it's not an Apple, it's not a Samsung. Like, you know nothing about the reputation or the quality or the, you know, how robust that phone is going to be. It's the same with an ICO. It really is kind of like gambling, I think, a lot of the time, because there's not really any past indication of how. It's not like a company where they have, that's actually a really good question. It's like, does the crypto company exist before the ICO really? Because all it is really a concept before they have money behind them, unless they've started with money.
I don't think there's any regulation around ICOs at all.
Yeah.
So anyone can have one. Like, the difference with an ICO is that, like, with crypto companies, there's not usually many assets you have to buy. If you are making a business, like, let's say you're Louis Vuitton, and you need to buy like leather and actual supplies to make your business, like actual equipment. You need to hire marketers and you need to hire all these different people.
Yeah.
But like a crypto company should be really lean.
Yeah.
Like you don't really have to buy that much equipment. It should just be like a few like $1,000 worth, or maybe
for your staff and for security purposes. There's like that's where most of the money goes is into the labor.
But it should be really lean, and so like an ICO seems like a little bit of an overstep. Like you don't really need millions and millions of dollars. Maybe they will become like a legit thing in 10 years time. So maybe this advice or like this, what I'm saying won't age well, but right now they're a little sketch.
The crypto business being really lean is a really good point. It's like there's really not a huge amount of overheads apart from like maintaining a secure system, and then maybe holding some money on trust for businesses that are wanting to start running, if it's its own blockchain, start running projects on its blockchain, and you know, but who knows?
Possibly.
It's probably most of it is just going into the pockets of the people who have issued the coins. So anyway, on that note, it's time to move to the last and final question.
What is the best crypto exchange to use?
It's a good question. I think also a very broad question in the sense that it depends what you're wanting to do. If you're wanting to just buy crypto and put it in a wallet, my feeling would be that it would be best to use a non-custodial exchange, just because it means that like you can't get lazy and forget to take your money off an exchange and then have the risk of not your keys, not your crypto being...
So can you explain, because like for a non-lawyer, custodial means nothing to me.
The benefit of having a non-custodial wallet is that the exchange won't hold your crypto for you. You have to send it to your own wallet and have control over the crypto yourself. So that's something like Easy Crypto, which we have in New Zealand. I'm not too well researched on like internationally what the best non-custodial wallets are, but basically a non-custodial exchange will make you put it in your own wallet, and so there's not the risk if an exchange goes bust that you're going to lose your crypto because you hold the private key and you have it in your wallet.
Yeah, I think I'm a big fan of non-custodial exchanges.
Yeah.
Because people who buy crypto should be able to handle crypto or know enough about crypto to get their own wallet and be in charge of their own keys.
Yeah. It is confusing though when you get started. It's not really intuitive.
And I've lost money on exchange when I started. But like I also don't really feel sorry for myself either.
Exactly.
Because I should have known. It's how I learned.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. But I think also drawing back to what's the best exchange to use also depends on your purpose. So if you are just wanting to buy crypto as an investment and just hold it, set and forget, then yes, store it in your wallet. If you can, use a non-custodial exchange, or just, you know, make sure that you do go through that process, however laborious it might be to learn, to put it in your own ownership, in your own custody.
Yeah.
But if you're someone who's wanting to like stake or earn a yield off your crypto...
But on that note, the exchanges that are offering the staking and the yielding is very sketch to me. I cannot like go into detail on this because I'm like in the middle of researching these kinds of things. But like some of these exchanges are dodgy AF.
Yeah.
And FTX was a major fail, but I think that there's still
more bad fish out there.
There's definitely a few more bad fish. And if there's an exchange offering you like really high staking reward, like 10% or more, I would be very, very skeptical around the legitimacy of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, there's always a catch when there's such high reward. It means that you're likely investing in something that's very high risk. Okay,
so for like practical advice for people who are actually looking for an exchange, like, okay, get it, like I know like I have to be mindful and wary, like I want to buy some freaking crypto. Yeah, it's just an intermediary.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't really have to worry too much about like the security of it. There's millions of people that probably used FTX and are completely unaffected because they just used it as like an intermediary. They exchange their money and boom, and they send it to their wallet.
Yeah.
And they're completely unaffected by the FTX fail.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be. And so, yeah, if you're just looking for an exchange, just like search what's a legitimate one in your country.
What the fees
search for
are.
low fees.
If you can hack a if you can, shouldn't use that slang with this, what I'm saying, but if you want to, if you can find a non-custodial one, that's probably the best option if you're just wanting to store it. And if you're really you're excited about really risky investment and risky assets, then by all means keep your money on an exchange, leverage your crypto and
jump off a cliff.
Get a yield. Yeah, like literally, but just be aware that you're jumping off a cliff, so like throw your finger, not your head, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a terrible analogy. Throw your golf ball, not your iPhone.
Yeah, I was trying to work out my head, like if you throw your finger, aren't you going to go down too?
Yeah. Whoops. You know what? It's okay. It's the sake. It's speaking for me. But yeah, I think I've answered those questions reasonably well. We've got more in the background, but I think that's enough for today.
Yeah. Okay.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Sayonara.
Au revoir tout à l'heure. À bientôt. Et bonne nuit.